All right. Good afternoon. Eduardo Bossa is with me here, joining me from Colombia, right?
Yes,
So
from
tell me, where,
Cartagena.
where, where are you? What exactly, specifically?
I'm in Cartagena. It's a very nice city in the Caribbean coast of Colombia.
Okay.
Lots of history.
Yeah.
Um,
So Eduardo, thank you for joining me. I wanted just have one of these brief chats with you. Let's talk about your sort of beginnings in guitar making. You were a chemical engineer or are a chemical engineer, right? So this is a second sort of path for you. Can you give me a little insight there? How did you get into this?
sure. Well, actually, I'm a chemical engineer, as you mentioned. I went to school to study engineering, but at the same time, I was playing guitar. I was going to conservatory, studying classical guitar
Hmm.
at like in parallel, right? So that's kind of how I got into the whole guitar making thing. I got very interested in guitars once I received my first actual Luthier built, like good quality guitar. One of my teachers, I hit a moment in my studies where he mentioned that my guitar was just not going to cut it and I needed a better instrument. So he found a used guitar, very good guitar by the Granada Luthier Brian Martin,
Hmm.
and that was like my first experience. I had experience before with other high quality guitars, but I never owned them. And
Mm.
when you have that guitar and you play with it all day long, you develop a relationship, right? And that's when I got really interested in how was it that it was made, it was constructed to obtain the sound. And it was kind of like a pipe dream, thinking about making a guitar. I read about it, I studied about it. I never thought, I mean, I had never worked with wood, with
Hmm.
tools. I knew nothing about it. And like many years later, I already had an engineering career, and I met a very important luthier in Colombia, perhaps the most important uh, luthier and guitar um, history in Colombia. And his name is Alberto Paredes. And I met him, and he mentioned he was living here in my city. Right?
Mm.
So I immediately, and I didn't even think about it very much. I just mentioned I wanted to make a guitar. I wanted him to teach him. Would that be okay? And he said, sure, why not? And I met with him, and that's how I got started.
Wow. Okay. And so you've been making guitars professionally since 2014, right?
Yes, yes.
What was your first guitar like?
It was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I still have it. The
Cool.
result was the sound is really special. I've had two different artists try it out, and they've asked me to loan the guitar to them
Right.
because I want to record stuff with it. I
Hmm.
mean, my guitars have changed a lot,
Yeah.
and if I look back on it right now, my work has improved immensely.
Sure.
But it still has a very special charm. It works very well. It's a very nice instrument, and I think that's what got me really enthusiastic about the whole thing. That
Hmm.
I got such a good result with my first guitar.
Yeah. And so are your guitars informed by I always ask about inspiration, right? Was there a guitar that you heard or saw or measured or examined that was like, oh my gosh, this is how I want my guitars to sound?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, first there are recordings you
Yeah.
hear of your guitar heroes, and those sounds stick with you. I I can mention the recordings that Manuel Barrueco did of Bach sonatas,
Mm-hmm.
his rock guitar.
Yep.
That sound is a very beautifully recorded sound. I can also remember the Assad brothers recording of Piazzolla,
Mm.
that guitar sound. And then comes the first hand experience, right? Because when you hear a recorded instrument, it's been processed, and you don't get the real first-hand experience, right?
Yep.
So I I I I, I had experience with my teacher's guitars. Um, I remember a Contreras guitar very well. I used to hear a lot,
Hmm.
and it was a very nice instrument. Influenced me.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I already mentioned my Bernd Martin guitar,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had the opportunity of, a privilege of playing a Hauser guitar,
Mm-hmm.
Hauser the second guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I had the privilege a couple of years back of playing an original Torres guitar, and then I also heard firsthand some Friedrich guitars played by Pierri, like, and I don't mean in concert, I mean like
Up close.
firsthand,
Well,
up close.
I mean, right there, those are all very different, right? Contreras versus Torres versus Hauser, Friedrich. These are all completely different. The way we sort of categorize, the style or sound or feel, weight of a guitar. So,
Definitely.
so in your work, when you're building an instrument, what qualities are really top of mind for you, sonically? Certainly, you're trying to achieve a level, a standard of workmanship, right, where the fit and finish is very very high level and all that. But what about sound? What qualities should people expect, if they're considering trying out one of your guitars?
Well, I work mainly with traditionally built instruments,
Hmm.
so that gives you a certain idea of what to expect with my guitars. I also make some double top guitars, but
Okay, I would just want to clarify. So traditionally, you mean uh, fan bracing versus a double top or a lattice. Okay.
yeah, and inside the fan bracing world, there's a huge variety, but I'm well within that world,
I just want to clarify for the viewers. Yeah, I know. I, yeah.
Sure.
Um,
Uh, and I believe an instrument has to have a very powerful sound. It has to have loudness, and it has to have projection.
mhm.
And nowadays, you would say that's not as critical because you can amplify an instrument with a microphone.
Yep.
But still, in order to react to that instrument as a player, you need to feel that, because it's about feel also, not only about sound.
Mhm.
Um, there has to be evenness without making it boring. There has to be evenness in the timbre of each string, each fret, and evenness in the response, evenness in the sustain,
Mhm.
every string, fret position. Uh, that makes it predictable. And as a player, if everything responds the way you expect, there are no surprises, then you can forget about the instrument and concentrate in your playing.
In the music,
Uh,
right?
and then in regards to the sound, I think, and that's kind of difficult to explain, but I think a good guitar needs to have a unique voice. It needs to sound like your guitars.
Mhm.
They have to have like a common voice that you don't regard as generic. You have to hear
Right.
something special,
Right.
and that's kind of hard to describe or to put your finger on. But that's what I'm always aiming for.
Yeah. And so you do have a couple of models, right? You build a concert model and then you have like a recital model. Can you briefly touch on the differences between them?
Well, actually, I'm updating my lineup of
Okay,
guitars. I've recently changing it. I'm no longer making the recital model,
got it.
and of course I keep making my concert model, which is like, let's say my standard
Mhm.
concert level instrument. And I'm developing a new model. I think very soon GSI is going to be receiving one of the first ones,
Mm.
and it's to celebrate my 10th anniversary making
Okay.
guitars. Although um, it's taken a couple of years developing, and it's obviously the designs. There are differences, visual differences, but the real difference is in the construction. It's a very different type of construction, still traditional, still fan braced, but it's a very different sound aesthetic. I mean, they still sound both like my guitars, but they're different approaches to the sound.
Okay. So that
And then,
will become a model that we can order or people can order. You have the standard concert model and then the 10th anniversary model. Yeah.
right, then I have a flamenco model
Okay.
guitar, which is based on my concert model, but it's not quite. I mean, it's very flamenco sounding, very percussive. And then I also have like I mentioned, the double top,
Mhm.
because some concert guitar players do find a lot of merit in that sort of design.
Sure.
And I must say I have obtained very good results with that sort of construction. So I also offer that model as well.
Great. Okay. So new things coming. Looking forward to the next Bossa guitar that comes through. So Eduardo, thank you for your time. And
No, thank you,
yeah,
Rick.
enjoy the warm
And it's
weather.
great. Nice conversation.
Okay, you got it, man. Take care.
Good.
Bye.
Bye. Thank